Narratives are incredibly important, and getting them right is also really important. What we see a lot is people bringing their own narratives as a way of explaining AI, which can actually be really unhelpful because there's so much science fiction in what is kind of our cultural understanding of AI that people often resort to this without even realizing it. It's not just media, it's even the way that we'll talk about it, you know, in a room like this potentially. Thank you. So loads of hype about AI, certainly since ChatGPT launched, but what's really interesting in these articles here is that even though AI was a dictionary dictionary word of the year, Collins Dictionary, and hallucinations was one for another dictionary, you can see in the pictures that the pictures that they've used to describe AI and hallucinations, where they've used a service robot which has got absolutely nothing to do with hallucinations whatsoever, even if you buy into that term, that we really have a problem in communicating about AI. And it's this kind of thing of how do you embody the unembodied and default straight to tropes. And it means that every time anyone's trying to, well, every time, but a lot of times people are trying to communicate a particular topic. So here you see law, but it could be anything, it could be education, it could be medicine, whatever. It's like chuck the robot in or the glowing brain, and then the thing that represents the other thing that you're trying to talk about. And yeah, I think that says it all. And obviously the issue with all of these is they help people go down the real fear element. All these newspaper headlines were last year after we had a few letters and statements about the fact that we're all going to die. And it's much easier to believe if you have got the Terminator in your mind and stop thinking about asking questions about what's happening right now and the issues with AI right now. On the other side of the coin, it also makes it much easier to kind of get people to buy into the techno-optimism and, you know, techno-solutionism and techno-determinism that you see. If anyone hasn't read this, the Techno-Optimist Manifesto, it's a big VC investor. It's mind-blowing in the kind of, you know, it's just such an extreme, but actually both the kind of extreme fear and the extreme optimism are very closely allied, and it's funded by a lot of the same places, and there's been a lot of marketing money that has gone in via kind of effective altruist organisations to actually craft messages that make us believe in superintelligence and fear it and want to buy it, and, you know, kind of think only tech companies can tell us how to legislate it because it's so amazing. So these are some headlines from just the last week, where you can see this is still, you know, still very much running. You've got the robot hand, you know, going back to Shakespeare. And then last Friday, another VC saying that AI is 10,000 times smarter. So these predictions are incredible because we wouldn't give this any credence if it weren't for the underlying narratives that are around. And this was me in Leeds. Well, I took the picture in Leeds yesterday, coming back from an AI event, seeing this on a billboard and going, oh my goodness, what is this about? And it's actually advertising the Leeds Festival, which doesn't even have anything on AI in it. But it's the whole point is these messages sell, whether you're selling a festival or you know, startup funding or whatever it is. It's a lot about the money. So we can talk a lot about, you know, the term AI itself is pretty nonsense. It means different things to different people. It's used in different ways. I won't run through the list, but I'm happy to leave a deck. And the key thing that I'd say is that the dictionary definition of AI, if you look at, you know, most dictionaries, Wikipedia, whatever, has also kind of this undercurrent of it being about this sci-fi idea of intelligence and human intelligence. So most definitions are around the replication of things that require human intelligence. But the problem with this is that, you know, whether you're a neuroscientist, a cognitive scientist, we don't know what human intelligence is. It's like, how can you base your whole definition of something around something that most people don't understand as a like, oh, it's like this other thing that we don't understand, but it makes no sense at all. And of course, it's centering this idea that it's like humans. And when we speak to people in, you know, people who aren't in AI rooms, A lot of them will genuinely think that AI is like a brain made of circuits. And yes, it's been inspired, neural networks were inspired by the brain, but it's very, very different. Why is this? Yeah, so we came up with the idea, because the images reinforce and enable all of these narratives. We came up with an idea. I got really frustrated and realised there are lots of other people really frustrated, and just pulled together a lot of researchers, academics, activists, artists who were working on individual projects tackling this issue of AI representation. If you do a Google search, even to this day on AI, you still get this sea of kind of blue. And we just put them together, and the breakthrough came when we partnered with BBC R&D, LCFI, but also a load of other institutions. Always an open invitation for anyone to join in. It's very much a collaboration rather than yes, we in AI run it, we have the legal responsibility, we pay the costs, etc. But it requires to have a different vision of AI than like this very narrow one. We need to have lots of different perspectives, otherwise it's just another, it's just Tania's view or whatever. It needs to be a collaboration. So we put the website up, and then lots of pictures. I see you've used them in your material, thank you very much. But we really also wanted to be educating people who might be content producers who know nothing about AI, to kind of just give a bit more information about why is this, what is this AI? It's all on Creative Commons, so anyone's free to use them as long as they credit them. Using pictures is a really good way to start kind of digging into narratives as well. So different views of the same thing is really important here. You've got some data labelers who are refugees. And so for them, being a data annotator, it has been, amazing. But then on the other hand, there's this whole kind of hidden economy of people, being exploited and hidden, so that we think AI is like amazing. And actually it's, just often a lot of people pretending to be AI. And then we've got a blog, and again, anyone's welcome to write for this, where we kind of have these discussions. So I'm going to whiz through, say, images being used all over the place. We've got several collaborations because we don't have money, we're not funded. So when other people do projects, they can, sometimes work with us to create images from those projects. We sometimes get research funding as part of that, and have created some images recently that with AI for Media that, it's really great to see them just go straight into the press, but also into people's presentations. So I will say, I've left it over there, but there are guidelines, which I've got a card copy, but they're online as well. And this was a project that we did with Dr. Cantor Dihal and LCFI then, she's now at Imperial, where we broke down all the different types of tropes and why a lot of them are very colonial, they're very, very sexist, they're very racist, they're very Western, and also science fiction. Yeah. I think it's a proof copy, so it's a bit battered, but yeah. So yeah, I really encourage looking at the key ones: color blue, white robots. As soon as you anthropomorphize something, you're instantly white men in suits. Yeah. As soon as you anthropomorphize something, and I think Gianna might be talking about this, you're instantly putting human characteristics in. So, headphones that it needs somehow, typing, but also, breasts. I mean, it's just, this is why, if there's one message today, it's like never anthropomorphize. So that's a kind of, summary about avoiding tropes. Please do go through the list. I've got a whole load to maybe talk about on AI generated images of AI trained on all the crap that's out there. But also, if you want to kind of make the link with public power, we've written an essay for Joseph Rowntree Foundation, and we've got a collection on AI hype, which is a topical collection for Springer AI and Ethics Journal, and we'll be doing a launch with all the authors of like loads of different perspectives on why AI hype is damaging. And that is it.